Good morning, boys and girls. It is Thursday, April 30th. Today we're going to learn about visual poetry. So let's go ahead and go over our expectations. Number one, you're going to make sure that you have your pencil and your packet available. So make sure your pencil's nice and sharp. Make sure your packet's on the right page. It's Thursday, April 30th, 2020. Number two, whenever I say pause, please pause your video and fill out the section that we're working on. When you're finished filling out the section, unpause your video. Number three, at the end of the video, please complete your exit ticket on Teams. So, let's go ahead and move on to our Spark. It's Thankful Thursday, so what is one thing that you're thankful for? So an example, I am thankful for my family. Who are you thankful for? Or what are you thankful for? You can list more than one thing if you'd like to, but I'm going to give you 1 minute. All right, if you've already thought of one thing, try to add more things. What are all the things that you could be thankful for? Your family, your house, your friends, your pets. Let's see, HEB workers. You could be thankful for a lot of things. Go ahead and list them until the time goes out. That's your challenge. 10 more seconds. Awesome. So, let's read Carrots by Shel Silverstein and answer the following questions. So this is the poem Carrots. So we have an illustration that's a little odd. I wonder how this visual helps us understand the poem. And then also our title, which is Carrots. Thank you for labeling your text features. Okay, let's track as I read. We're on line 1. They say that carrots are good for your eyes. They swear that they improve your sight. But I'm seeing worse than I did last night. You think maybe I ain't using them right? So your do now is to answer these 4 questions. I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Actually, since we read it, I think that you can do it in 3. 3 minutes to answer those 4 questions. So which lines rhyme in this poem? Which lines have the same ending sound? It helps if you circle those words that rhyme at the end. How does the illustration for carrots help you understand the meaning of the poem? You're going to fill out that sentence stem. The illustration helps me understand the poem Carrots by blank. Number 3, how do you think the speaker feels? The speaker feels blank because blank. Number 4, how does this poem make you feel? This poem makes me feel blank because blank. Okay, you have about 1 minute and 45 seconds left. Thank you for writing in complete sentences using your stems. Also putting the punctuation at the end of your sentence. Okay, about a minute left. All right, 30 more seconds. Fifteen seconds. All right, coming together in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, which lines rhyme in this poem? If you said lines 2, 3, and 4 rhyme, you are exactly right. So what are the rhyming words at the end of each line in lines 2, 3, and 4? Go ahead and circle them. They are sight, night, and right. All 3 of those words rhyme. How does the illustration for carrots help you understand the meaning of the poem? The illustration helps me understand the poem Carrots by... Well, the poem is mainly about how the speaker doesn't understand why carrots are good for your eyes. But why does he not understand why the carrots are good for his eyes? Because he's sticking them in his eye sockets. Is that how carrots are good for your eyes? No, absolutely not. So you could say this in your own words, but the illustration helps me understand the poem Carrots by explaining how carrots aren't good for the speaker's eyes. All right, number 3 says, how do you think the speaker feels? The speaker feels maybe a little confused because the last line says, you think maybe I ain't using them right? Because he isn't using carrots right. Thank you for finding that text evidence. All right, how does this poem make you feel? Personally, this poem makes me feel a little silly. Why? Because it's a funny poem. It's for entertainment. So today we're going to focus on why poets use visuals such as illustrations in their writing. So let's look at the first bullet point. Illustrations are drawings that help us better understand the text. We know that's why we have text features. Poets like Silverstein use illustrations to control how the poet feels about the poem. So today we're going to talk about how the poet feels when talking about illustrations. So, number 1 says we're going to cover up the illustrations for runners. So let's go ahead and go to runners and label our text features. We have a title, we have the poet, thank you. We also have an illustration. Right now we're just labeling. We're not focusing on the illustration just yet. It says cover it up and then read it. So go ahead and cover it up at the bottom. And then let's track and read. Title is The Runners by Shel Silverstein. Why does our track team run so fast and jump with zest and zeal? We owe it to our great coach and wonderful practice field. So without looking at the illustration, how do you think the speaker feels? How does it make you feel? Great. If you said it makes you feel thankful or like you have a lot of gratitude or you're very grateful, I said the same thing. Because the last couple lines are like, we owe it to our great coach and wonderful practice field. So they're really thankful that they have a great coach and a wonderful practice field. So I'm going to write, this poem makes me feel grateful. Alrighty. Now let's look at the illustration a little closer. It is a funny illustration. Let's label what's happening here. So we have a lion here that looks really ferocious. And he says, what does the shirt say? It says that he's the coach. So this is their great coach. Do you think a lion would make a really great coach? All right, and the lion is chasing the track team. How do you think they feel right now? And then also there's what's down here? Yep, there's this big ditch and it's full of, wow, spiky arrows and skulls. That's kind of scary. All right, number 4 says, reread the poem Runners and look at the illustration. Go ahead and reread to yourself. Actually, let's reread it together. So, line 1. Why does our track team run so fast and jump with zest and zeal? We owe it to our great coach and the wonderful practice field. So how does this poem make you feel now? Yes, I also said that this poem makes me feel a little scared. This poem makes me feel scared. So, at first we're like, oh, the words make it sound like the speaker is really grateful. And now we're saying that the poem makes us feel scared after we look at this illustration or visual. So if the way you changed after looking at the illustration, if the way you changed after looking at the way you feel changed after looking at the illustration, why? I apologize. So, why did it change? After looking at the illustration and reading, I felt grateful or scared. My feelings changed because why did your feelings change from looking at this and then looking at the whole thing? Because now we understand that their great coach is actually who? It's this lion. And their wonderful practice field is actually this crazy practice field with ditches full of arrows and skulls. Would that make you feel scared instead of grateful? Probably. So, my feelings changed because their great field or great coach is actually a lion. So we're looking at our words and we're looking at our illustrations. So number 6, how do the illustrations help you understand the meaning of the poem? The illustrations help you understand the meaning of the poem by it supports the actual meaning of the poem. And what's the actual meaning of the poem? Right, the actual meaning of the poem is that this track team is so fast and they jump with zest and zeal because they have this great line coach and this crazy practice field. So they're actually just really scared, which is helping them run fast, I guess. Shel Silverstein's a little funny. Again, because these poems are just for entertainment, right? So this moves us on to our exit ticket. Our exit ticket is titled Deaf Donald. So make sure you're on the right page, please. Of course, when we get a poem, we label our text features. This is the title. I'm just going to go like this and say there are illustrations all throughout. And then also go ahead and label your lines. This is all very important. How many lines should you have? Good, you should have 10 lines. So, for your exit ticket, you have 6 questions. On number 2, it says external rhyme. A synonym for external, and that's what I taught you on yesterday, is end. So the rhymes that happen at the end of the line are called end rhyme or external rhyme. They're synonyms, they mean the same thing. So look at your notes from Tuesday to determine what kind of rhyme is in this poem. Is it internal rhyme, or what's another word for external rhyme? End. Okay. So let's see. You should be able to answer these questions by yourself. And then also on the bottom, we're going to practice writing a type of poetry called a Cinquain. So your Cinquain by, then you're going to write your name. I'll show you my example. So you can write about any noun that you want. So I decided to write about puppies. And then I described puppies in 2 words, wiggly, fluffy. Of course, I could think of a lot of different adjectives. My verbs, and all of these verbs end in what suffix? Good, they end in ing. I said running, playing, licking, because that's what puppies do. And then a short phrase or sentence about puppies or dogs, they call them man's best friend. So that's what I put right here. And then a synonym for puppies is a canine. So you can write about any noun that you want, any noun in the world. And that's what you're going to do on this side, and then create an illustration or a visual for it. If you have questions, please let me know. Also, after you finish completing this on your paper, make sure that one, you go on Teams to fill out your exit ticket, please. And then step 2, make sure that you're logging on to Clever so that you can complete your AR and hotspot goals. Y'all have a great day. Bye.